Hello, it is Brian with a very brief video today just to let you know that I was a guest on the Mindcrack podcast this week, and so you guys should check it out. For those of you who don't know, the Mindcrack Network has a podcast that they air each week where four of them, Team Nancy Drew, are kind of like the podcasters who just talk about various topics during the week, and they often have a guest or two as well, and so this week it was Kurt and I in episode number 50 of the podcast as guests. And so that was super cool. We talk about packs from last week and talk about some other topics, so you should check it out. For those of you who are followers of mine on Twitter, you may have gotten hints that this was coming up over the last couple of days. A couple days ago, I tweeted out this. Seems like I've only recorded episode 40 of Exploration and Tactics, so why do I now have an episode 55? Strange. So for those of you who are very, hip to the Mindcrack podcast, you might have realized that episode 50 was going to be coming out this week, since it's a weekly thing. Then I tweeted out, speaking of Minecraft, it's a game of cubes, and 1 is a perfect cube, and it's also the number of days until, and this was something that I tweeted yesterday, and people had some good guesses. People were guessing like NFL football. I'd been talking about the Seahawks and looking forward to NFL football starting up today. Actually just finished watching the Seahawks game. They won, woohoo! But no, it wasn't football that I was leading up to there. It was trying to hint at the podcast, and so even this morning, I had this tweet. Also, I've seen some folks cast guesses about a couple recent mysterious tweets of mine. Wrong! Propose other denouement. For those of you who don't know, denouement means kind of the final resolution or outcome of a drama or a mystery or something. I'll be honest, I had to use the thesaurus to come up with this as well. But in any case, there was a lot of wording that was kind of odd in that tweet. Cast guesses is kind of an odd phrase, like you cast votes. I don't know that you really cast guesses, so cast seemed out of place. And propose other denouement is a really weird turn of phrase. And so if you happen to look at the first letters of that sentence, P-O-D, as well as the odd cast in there, that was my way of trying to hint out that the podcast was coming up. I actually intended to have another hint today, but I didn't know what time the podcast was going to air, and by the time I was ready to tweet another hint, it was already up. So, oh well. In any case, definitely check out the podcast. It was fun to record and hang out, just kind of chatting with those guys. The Mindcrack Network, if you haven't seen it before, very low overhead if you want to go subscribe to that. They have a weekly podcast that they do on Sundays, and then Saturdays, Pyro has started a weekly little news show that just keeps people up with what's going on the Mindcrack server. So if you want to add something else to your YouTube sub box that's not going to put a lot of extra videos or things for you to look at, that is something to check out. But definitely go check out the podcast that Kurt and I were guests on this week. We had a lot of fun. And yeah, that's it for now. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.